Thursday, October the 20th, 2022. And this is Clear Blue Radiance. I'm the host, Brother Francis E. Revels Bay. This is a very good day out today. I'm looking out the window here and I understand that it looks nice and quiet, very sunny out. And, we're still finishing off the summer. And even though we're in the fall, it still feels like a little bit the summer sometimes. Maybe it'll get a little warmer. Where I'm on today with my brand new episode here, which I logged in, which is You Are the Best When You Rest and Trust in Your Growth and Expansion. Well, before we delve into that unique topic today, I want to tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm Brother Francis. I work through remotely through Resonant Essentials out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as on my own at the same time. I've been a spiritual counselor for 40 plus years, and many people ask, how long have you been living in Albuquerque? Well, I've been here as of next month, November the 15th. I will be here 11 years. And so I consider it my home, no place else. Okay. Uh, I'm here to help people like yourself have greater clarity in your life and also either help you discover your purpose or help you clarify the purpose that you have right now. Sometimes our purpose changes frequently. It changes as we grow and expand, and we get really clear on what it is that we want to do in our lives. Now, some people can generalize that and say, well, we all came here to share love, to raise the vibration of the planet with unconditional love and compassion and being grateful and gratitude. Many people raise it through or help raise the planet's vibration, meaning the collective humanity. Oh, hey, Swanda. So help that collective humanity, the mind of collective humanity, free itself from restrictions and limitations. So whenever I come on here to share some information with you, I'm actually talking about real life experience, and we all have it. And the only way we can learn is from life itself. I know when I look on, let's say, my Facebook page, or I go to someone else's page and they'll say educational background, and they'll say something like the hard knocks of life, which is true. We have so many things that happen with us that go on in our lives, and we have to do our best learning how to adjust to whatever life has for us, but we can actually create our own lives. And we do, but we think we're doing it by default. Just like when you get a computer and it's not functioning right, you can always reset it, right? Which means it goes back to the factory setting. The only thing is, if you didn't save any of your documents, they won't show up. Okay. Or you try to reset the history. When it was all working well before it crashed, then whatever you put into it on your hard drive won't be there if you backdate it several days or weeks or even a month. Okay. So certain things won't be there. So you have to learn how to bring all this data, all this information together and secure it somewhere. And what does the computer tech say? Give yourself one of these, a backup hard drive, right? An external hard drive. So start saving things on that. I even got a beautiful turquoise teal looking one over there that I'm going to start using. Why? Because we get so much information and we have so much on a hard drive. It's like, wow, you got to go through all of that. And then where are you going to place it if you're trying to save it or if you need to save it? And sometimes I'm a person that has too many documents. I'll double up and triple up on them. Don't really need to do that, but that's a habit. Okay, so today's topic is all about getting you to a point in your life where you can feel better about yourself. Granted, we all go through things. Life is what it is. It is a teaching experience. Can you imagine all of us great I am presence beings before we popped into this world? before we decided to come here. Perhaps we signed some little contract and we didn't read the fine print. We said we came here to forget everything that we learned from previous lifetimes. We forgot our original presence of mind. We agreed to that on some level. Why? So that we could further gather more of the life's experiences that we can have. And in so doing, we create other life's experiences. And in so doing that, at some point, we turn on a light switch that says, I remember planting this particular experience in this lifetime. Now, why did I do that? And you begin to explore that. And then you find out, oh, I put it there to do what? To reawaken to my divinity. Or as a good friend of Swanda would say, to understand that you are this infinite metaphysical being, a spiritual person. You got this light inside yourself that you can utilize at any time that could break through molds, MOLDS. That means those molded mental limited thinking things, restrictive energy molds. We need to break through those things. And so, sometimes I am long winded. I can tell some corny jokes, but I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. One of the things you want to be able to do, because this is what the topic is about, you want to be able to rest. Now, just not just rest physically, but rest your mind, rest your brain, rest your mental body, rest your emotional body, rest, and then rest your physical body. But rest it from what? Anxiety, constant worrying all the time. In the process of resting, we can allow ourselves to go through life and truly and distinctively experience it. Now, there's another key word that came up in that title, and that is trust. Trust is when you have this not only unshakable faith, but you're able to rely on someone or something that helps you achieve your goals. Trust. Now, we all have had life's experiences where there's some people you can't trust anything that they say. Why? Because they don't follow through. I have a lot of friends that do that. And in my earlier years, not understanding who I was spiritually, metaphysically, and all these other things, I would, and rather than say no, I would say yes. Why? Because I wanted the person to feel I was important in their life, but I wanted myself to feel that I was just as important in their life. And they would call me up and ask me, hey, can you come over here and help me do such and such the next day? And I would go, yeah, I'll be there. And then the closer it got to the day being over and the new day being born, I was finding excuses for not showing up. And what that does, the first time when you do that, the person may not necessarily be plugged in to what you're really telling them, right? Because they may not know you, or that person could be an excellent friend of yours and they're just going to cut you a little slack, right? What that basically means is they're not going to hem and haw over the fact that you didn't show up. As you spoke that word and said, yes, I'll be there the next day. But if they start seeing it time and time again, that you're saying yes, and then you're not showing up, well, you know what that usually means? No one is going to pick you. No one's going to call on you. Why? They can't trust in your word. We might think of that's how contracts and agreements came about, because it used to be your word is your bond. By what you said, that bound you to the thing that you said that you were going to do. Many people can't keep their word, and they have fear about keeping their word, but not so much their word. They have fear about showing up, about being present. And sometimes we worry so greatly over it that we wear ourselves out emotionally and mentally. Do you know that's how sometimes we get sick? We get quote unquote sick because we may have overeaten for weeks on end, eating things we have no business eating, products that have a lot of sugar in it, products that have a lot of sodium in it, all that stuff, when and it goes through your body and your bloodstream, it's got to either be sweated out of you or you have your ones and your twos to get it out of your system. And if not, it affects your physical well being. So think about that. Your words have power, your words carry a frequency. And the more frequency is to repeat, right? So the more you keep saying, yes, I'm going to be there, but no, you don't show up, there's an emotional attachment to the word yes, and an equally doubly powerful emotional connection when you don't show up. And you're not showing up somewhere affects not only your life, but everybody else that is connected to you. And then there's that third word in the title, because the title is You Are the Best When You Rest and Trust in Your Growth and Expansion. Well, growth is a part of change. It's growth. When you're growing, you are changing. When you're not growing, you're not changing either. While you're like dissolving, everything is breaking down. A good growth spurt should impact your life and impact the other people around you. Hey, when people are on the internet, what is that word that people are using nowadays? People I get on TikTok, right? Influencer. I'm in that thing called Clubhouse. Influencers. Well, sometimes people just like to hear themselves talk. They're not making an impact in someone's life. Some people are fulfilling the ego. And like in one of the books I wrote, Akhenaten said, we have taken the ego and miscreated it. We were only supposed to use the ego like a magnifying glass to find things that we need to make changes at. And some things we just need to leave alone because they're okay. So we need growth. And when you exercise, you can see growth. You can see the muscles tone up. You can see the joints. You have greater flexibility. You have more endurance. Your lungs can take in more air. Your body gets stronger. When you read a book every day or once a week, whenever you can read, where are you growing? You're growing in your understanding and you're growing in the use of words. Just like if you practice, you rehearse talking, well, you can talk with your hands down and your body rigid and stand up like a soldier and don't even make any inflections in the tone of your voice and don't make any body language. Or you can get very animated, right? Sometimes when audience is listening to you, they get more out of it when you're more animated. They get more out of it when you're funny sometimes. They get more out of it when you spread joy and happiness. Why? Because that joy that you're spreading is going to remain in their memory bank. And they're going to remember things you said because you were joyful about it. So when you have growth in your life, growth is a part of change. And we have to learn to accept that growth. And that growth is good because it allows us to have greater development in well being. And it's a must. What's the opposite of growth? Stagnation. You know how that is. If you're not growing and you're stagnated and you become bored, and then you turn on yourself, right? This thing I'm doing is not working out. You start a business, you want it to take off right away, but you might need 6 months. You might need several years before you see it click. I remember someone said to me in a class um, that I was taking, they said, you know what? When you send an email out to people, if you're using an email system to announce who you are, you have to keep putting that email out 6 or 7 times before somebody goes, oh, let me see what this is. And I remember before using computers so much because they used to be so expensive, right? And people would put your stuff in a pen, something called like a penny saver, a little weekly thing that would go out in the mail, or people can find out in the street, and you advertise. You don't know who's reading that or if anybody is reading it, but you got to keep putting your ad in there. Hopefully, it's at the top. Hopefully, somebody sees it. Hopefully, somebody reads it. You have to make an impression on people in order for them to remember you. And if you have a negative presence, they remember that too. You have a positive presence, they remember that too. So, in order to be the best in your life, you've got to rest your mind from worry and anxiety, relax those thoughts. Don't be up worried about and telling yourself frequently, what I'm about to do is not going to work. If you keep convincing yourself that it's not going to work, well, guess what? You're your best cheerleader in the negativity department, and it didn't work. I think it was Deepak Chopra said this, as well as maybe Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith of the Agape Spiritual Church out in Culver City, California. One of them said just last year, constant worry is a negative prayer that you plant out into the universe. Constant worry is a negative prayer that you are planting into the universe. And your subconscious mind, like the universe, it don't know nothing about what's right, what's wrong, what's good, or what bad per se. It is an intelligent essence. However, it goes by the amount, the quality of stuff that you're putting out into the universe and how many times you're putting it out there into the universe. And it circulates and it has to come back to you. Do you know that every word that you speak, every action that you do finds you? Why? Because you are the creator of it. It will go out into the world, circulate in your neighborhood, show up in your grocery stores, in your malls, and it'll eventually catch with the wind and circulate and come back to you. Why? Because it found some buddies that you were talking about and it came to you, came back to you. So now that you have rest, you understand what rest is all about, you understand what trust is all about, and now you have a better understanding of the word growth. Here's the fourth word, and that fourth word in the subtitle is expansion. Expansion is necessary for us to see our dreams and visions transform our lives and become fulfilled in our life. We all need expansion. We have to expand. Well, it's the same as when you're breathing. You inhale and then you exhale. You need to inhale. Why? You need to pick up the charged particles in the atmosphere and in the air itself. And you need to hold that for just a moment in your body before you what? Exhale it back into the world. But not are you releasing toxins back into the world. You're sharing positive energy that you have accumulated and allowed to influence your body. And then you added on to it. You compounded it with more positive emotions. positive thoughts and thought processes. And now, as you exhale, you shared it with the world. Everything we do is impacting our surroundings, but it's first impacting ourselves. We don't understand that the words we use impact ourselves. I remember I lived with a gentleman. He transitioned at an early age in his late 40s. And he didn't know, that his words was causing his son to have a life of crime. He didn't understand that his son, by the time he was on the planet, this man didn't understand that the words he was using when he got angry with his son, the words that he was using was not only browbeating his son, but was taking away his self esteem. And he would call him dumb, and I'm not going to repeat the other words. But he had so much emotional charge in those other words that his son believed that he was not going to have a better life. His son believed that he was supposed to wind up in jail. His son believed he was supposed to wind up in prison, not just a local county jail, but in prison, state, federal funded prison. And when the son came out, the father and them sat down. He said, "Well, how did you wind up there?" He said, "Daddy, you used to, every time I made a small mistake, you would chew me out, you would curse me out, and then you would tell me I'm a nobody." And I thoroughly believed in it. And because I believed in it, that energy attracted more people who thought like me. And that was the gang that I hung out with. They became like family to me. So then I followed them. And when Chucky and Charlie and all these nicknames they would have after that would wind up in the county jail, I wanted to be in there with them because they weren't in the street. When they wound up in a federal prison, I couldn't wait to get there. Why? Because I'm a nobody. I'm not productive. And I'm not making you proud of me. So I got to go where people could talk, people could embrace me. Hey, how you doing, Jackie? Yeah, thank you for coming. So this is what happens to us because we're not paying attention to our words. Our words can either build ourselves or break ourselves down. So think of it, not just your words, but your thoughts, your actions, your deeds. That Japanese fellow scientist, Isaru Matsumoto, that wrote the book Hidden Messages in Water. That's a fabulous book. Why? Because he was talking about not only the hidden messages in water, but the hidden messages that show up in your bloodstream, that show up in the cells of your body. Our bodies, our cells that make up our skin, our muscles, our nerves, our blood vessels, external side and the internal side, our organs are affected by what we think and speak and our actions and results, which is our deeds. So if we don't watch what we're saying, we will tear our own world down. And if you don't watch what you're saying, your neighborhood will tear itself down and your country and beyond. But if you have something positive to tell yourself, then and you not only believe in it, but as I said in here, with trust, you have an unshakable faith in who you are, then you will succeed. Yeah, time will fly by. That's man-made time. That'll go by real fast. The man-made clock just may stop, but you shouldn't stop. You can't quit. You can take a break. You can step out of line for a moment, but you can't stop the dream that was given to you, that was planted inside of you. You can't stop that vision because it's yours. And you got to carry the dream out and you got to carry the vision. It was just like something similar to Dr. Martin Luther King had said about having a dream. And if you don't have a dream, then your visions will perish. You got to have something set on. You got to set your mind on something, but not just anything. That something that you have to set your mind on has to be the one of the keys that's going to elevate you, that's going to cause you to succeed. And then you become the best. I'm starting to think of tunes in my head. Wasn't it Tina Turner? You are the best, better than all the rest. But you have to be that for yourself. You are the best version today than the previous versions you were yesterday. And if you truly love who you are, you're going to be fueled by that self love. That's going to be important. Because if you become fueled by the self love, your self esteem, you become like nobility in your own life. You shall rise in the wind, the current that you have created that unites with all the other electromagnetic current is going to carry you forward. Just like a surfer on a surfboard. They can't wait for the winds to show up. They can't wait for that water to be rocking. Why? Because they want to ride a wave. And every surfer will tell you, I don't want to ride the top of the wave. I want to ride the curl. When the wave comes up, yeah, they want to be ahead of that. They have to. But when it comes up, they want to go in the curl. Why? Because they're riding the wave all the way to the shore, as close as they can. So imagine the words that we are using every day about ourselves, about other people in our household. Even the fur family can detect if the word that you say to it is loving and positive and reassuring, or if it's a lie, or if it's filled with anger. Why? They were given the ability to smell you out. They could tell by the heat off your body if what you're about to say to them is going to give them love and attention. They're going to see the images in your mind that build up here, and they'll see it along your body, and they'll know, I'm not trusting you. I'm not hanging around you. Oh, nope, you're abusive. Up, you're telling a lie. Up, you're going to try to tease me. But if you have good positive energy rolling off of you, the baddest dog in the world will seek you out and then want to hang out with you. And its master is going to go, like, its human is going to go like, I don't know how that happened. But that dog said, hey, they don't yell at me. They love me. I'm going to hang out with them. Cats are a little different. They just observe you and check you out all day. They say, you're not a threat to them. So, okay, give me some of that love. Pet me, rub me. And a cat will let you know. And a dog will let you know too. They'll paw you a little bit to say, keep going. And then they just disappear. They had enough. We have to watch every word that we say now because things are happening faster and faster and faster. Do you know that the minute you have a seed thought in your mind and you link it up with your emotions, your happy joy points with inside yourself, and then you speak it, you can see it materialize in your own life and manifest it here as an idea in your body, and then it materialized through the rest of the body in your auric field and into your surroundings. So that's why it's important. In order for you to recognize that you are the best possible person that can get your own message across, that can help change the world, help impact the environment, help influence other people, is because you can rest and allow the positive energy to build up within yourself and get released. You could trust in the word that you say, and you could trust when you could say yes. There'll be times that you're thinking things and feeling things and sensing things, and you can hear the universe says, "Are you ready?" And you automatically say yes. As I'll say it again, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith says it. The universe will conspire with you. It'll get together with you and make this thing happen. This desire, this dream, this vision. It'll make it happen. All you do is, like Reverend Ike used to say, keep your hands open. Got a closed fist, can't get nowhere. Why? Nothing can get in your hand, but keep your hands open. I mean, look at all the possibilities. Look at all the alternatives. You could think and you could feel and you can decide for yourself if you want to go with a group or not. It's okay. Why? Because you're going to go anyway. You're going to wind up being a success anyway. Whether you're in a group, a small group, quote, unquote, tribe, collective humanity, or by yourself. First person you got to trust is you. When we trust ourselves first, rely on ourselves first. I remember when I played in an R&B group in high school, and my mother knew the parents. So the parents of the drummer, the two boys that were related, Alan was the drummer, and his younger brother was the keyboard player. The youngest kid, he was 8 years old, playing a Hammond keyboard. You couldn't even see, or you could see this little top of his head moving. If you weren't sitting up in the theater in the balcony and look down, you couldn't see him if you were down near the pit. Well, you see these little sneakers moving around on the pedals. That boy can play. He still plays today. His name is Billy Cuffey, and his brother Alan. They could play at least five instruments. I could only play one, but they could play five instruments. Plus, they could sing. And then we had a bass player. But the thing about it was all about carrying the energy, the confidence. See, when you're in rehearsal, you're not just relearning the mood of the music, the tone of the music, the tone of the notes, the inflections of the notes. Not only are you practicing your piece, but your piece has to harmonize with everybody else's piece. And what we learned as kids, I think I was 18. We had a guy in the group that was 24, 25. So we had this range group like the Jackson 5 had. Almost came out around the same time they did. Here's the interesting factor. We played so much. We loved each other so much that if one person, something happened during the gig and one person couldn't do it, we could step up to the plate and do it. They call me the rhythm guitar guy, but I played that thing with the wah-wah pad and all of that, that if the bass player, something happened, his strings broke, I could play a little bass on there. I could do it on my 6-string guitar. You got to learn that you have to be ambidextrous, not just with the hands, in the mind, in the heart. You have to trust that you will be all right. And you have to not just trust, you have to know that you will be all right in this world. If we all have come to a point in our lives when we are afraid to go outside, right? Many of us have been bullied, afraid to go outside. But when this gift, this ability that my mother helped honed in me, because she was my first spiritual teacher, when she began to hone this gift in me, by the time I went off to college and ran into more bullies, guess what? The bullies couldn't affect me anymore. Not only could I see where I was headed, but I could see where they were headed. And I didn't have to retaliate. I didn't have to do that because they were already on a path. But I would tell every bully, the only reason why you stopped by to pick on me, because if you stay with me long enough, you're going to save yourself. But if you don't stay with me long enough, then the frequency of your energy is going to do what? It's going to attract a negative situation. And that negative situation it's going to put you in that, and you're going to have those experiences that are negative that you can't get out of. So a bully has a reason. A bully, the presence of a bully in your life activates the light that's in you. A person with a lot of darkness can activate the light in you. Why? Because prior to being here, you two soul wise, pure beings of light came together consciously in the light and tracked out this destiny when you were going to meet each other. But you had to remember. So I'm going to wrap this up. We got to be more aware, more sensitive to our environments, our places, and the people in our lives, but most of all, to ourselves. We have to change the way that we are thinking in order to see progress and growth and expansion in our life. Now, you can move at your own pace. There's nothing wrong with that. You just want to be able to create an opening for change. I'll say that again. You want to create an opening for change. Be willing to grow. That's a part of the process of change. And your life will expand. You will meet the right people at the right time, in the right places, doing the right things. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. The universe has everything lined up. We just have to engage it. We got to allow it to touch us. In other words, you're not going to get wet unless you put your foot in the water. You're not going to feel the heat unless you feel the heat. That doesn't mean you have to burn yourself in the fire. You just have to feel the warmth. You don't know how cold it is until you step outside. You don't know how happy you're going to be until you engage in happiness. You don't know how smart you're going to be until you start using all your faculties. So, you are the best when you rest and trust in your growth and expansion. Well, that's my topic for today. If you are close to Resident Essentials, you should come on through and check it out. We have beautiful practitioners there. They're there from 12, most of them are there from 12 p.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. or a little later. We have new people there, but Resident Essentials is usually closed on Mondays, and it's open on Tuesdays through Saturdays from about 12 to 5, but some practitioners come in early. We have a Reiki practitioner by the name of Amber. She usually gets there around 10 on a Tuesday, and she's out of there by 5 or so. There's also Nikki Bruton Phillips. She is there, and she's got some excellent readings and things, oracle cards, and all kind of ways of helping you retrain your mind. Okay, we have other practitioners coming in there. We have a new one by the name of Lauren White. She's a beautiful tarot reader, getting ready to graduate soon with a degree in psychology. We have a gentleman by the name of, just got his first name again, Brian. He's going to be in there helping out. He's got a big course coming up this Saturday and Sunday. I forget the title, but you need to go on the page. If you go on the website for Resonant Essentials, RESONANT, then Essentials, ESSENTIALS.com. If you go there, you'll see right across, you'll see practitioners and online courses and everything else. But if you click on the practitioners, you'll see the names of everybody, and you click on each one, and it tells you what they do. There'll be a calendar sitting there too. You can click on the calendar, and you can see the monthly events going on. I'm there usually every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. with my Creative Pathwork meditation series designed to help you understand that you can connect with your higher self. I can give you a simple guided meditation. We have small groups that meet together, sometimes no more than 5 or 6 people in the room. It's just right. You'll love the people, very friendly, just like yourself. You can come in there and learn for a small fee for an hour. We're there usually once a month on the second Sunday. We have a psychic fair from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is free. We have lots of healers there and spiritual readers there. Psychic mediums are there. So you need to show up there too. It's on the calendar. Go on to Facebook and say, click in, join Resident Essentials, the group. You get in the group and you can see all the events that are going on all the time. We'd love to meet you. 3107. This is the address. Resident Essentials is located at Scottsdale Shopping Village Plaza on Eubank Boulevard. The address is 3107 Eubank, EUBANK Boulevard Northeast, just north of the intersection of Eubank and Candelaria Boulevard in the Northeast Heights area. You go in there, you drive past Nashville hot Tennessee chicken, whatever that place is, and you'll see the parking lot open up. And right on your left hand side, you'll see a dark green building with black trim, brick building. And you go there and you'll see Resident Essentials. Enter through door number 34 with the beautiful beveled glass, oval shaped glass. Come on in, let us meet you. Michelle Vidal is there too. She would love to meet you. She's the owner of Resonant Essentials. It's a wonderful place with high energy, good people, good teaching, or as she says, higher consciousness. You can get it. We can help you arrive at it. So come on down to Resident Essentials, join the Resident Essentials, the group, Facebook. Come and watch some of the videos here on her YouTube channel for Resident Essentials. There's tons of them in here. A lot of interviews are placed in here. You can see some of my previous ones. You can see Michelle's. You can see everything and everybody. Okay. Well, I'm leaving. I won't be here next Thursday because I will be away for a little vacation, and I won't be at the center on Saturdays. I won't be there Saturday, October 29th. I'll be out of town having a great time, cuddling some little ones, some little young people that I can get together and hang out with. So, but look to be at Resident Essentials. I say it's the place to be. It's a place where people can be accepted. You can have your wisdom shared with many other people. You can open up and practice your gifts and talents so that you can be a better spiritual counselor, a better psychic medium. Just come on down, ask some questions, pick up some flyers, pick up some business cards. Come on through and meet us. Okay? I'm going to sign off. Today is October 20th, 2020. It's a Thursday. I won't be here next Thursday broadcasting because I'll be hanging out with some young people. They haven't seen me in a while, and I haven't seen them. And then I will be back on November the 3rd. November the 3rd, I'll be broadcasting. Okay, that's the next time I do the podcast at 1 p.m. here for Resident Essentials YouTube channel. And of course, I will be this Saturday over at Resident Essentials from 12 to 1 o'clock with my meditations. And then I'll be back there November the 3rd, November the 5th, which is a Saturday. So I'll be back here podcasting Thursday, November the 3rd, but I'll be back at the center this Saturday. I'll be there, but I come back in there on November the 5th. Anyone, everything that you like here, like and describe. We'd like you to do that. come back and like it, replay it, tell your friends about it, share it out if you can. Okay, we'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. What else I would like to tell you? Ah, my grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon. And thank you for coming by today and listening to my talk.